Look back to the problem statement to refocus. With our problem statement defined, we're ready to ideate. Keep in mind, innovation is rarely born in isolation. So don't fly solo. Get up from your desk, cubicle, or spaceship, gather some key individuals from other teams, and collaborate. The name of the game is quantity over quality. So think outside of the box and explore new angles. There are many ideation techniques to get you and your team started. Great reference is our Design Thinking Handbook by Eli Woolery. Check it out at designbetter.com. Next stop, prototyping. Prototypes come in all shapes and sizes, from basic paper models to interactive digital mock-ups. The goal is to have something tangible that can be tested on real people. Getting your prototype into the hands of real users will give you great insight on if the solution you provided is valid or if it needs some more work. Based on their feedback, you can make changes and improvements before spending the time and money building the real thing. Although these steps appear to be sequential, keep in mind, design thinking is less linear and more iterative. At each stage, you'll most likely discover new things that require you to go back and repeat a previous step. And there you have it, design thinking in a nutshell. Now get out there and start applying design thinking to your work today. You'll be glad you.
Okay, so that just gives us sort of a gloss over of design thinking. I'm just gonna stop sharing for a minute. And there's lots of resources. Oh my God, I'm dying. There's lots of resources for anybody who isn't taking a class right now. There's only 2 students here that are taking the design thinking class. But really, if you understand true marketing, you understand the essence of design thinking, which is really you've got to understand the end user and develop your solution to meet their needs. You don't develop a solution without understanding the needs, or you end up making something that doesn't fit anybody's situation. So sometimes people will come and say, I have a great idea for a business, and then find out that nobody's interested in it, then it's really not a great idea for a business, right? So it's about circling it back and understanding how it fits and making a solution that does fit. So can anybody tell me why do you think companies need to innovate and understand their end consumer better?
So they can make a better product.
Right, or be more successful, right? So can you think of any examples of companies in the past that may have sort of fallen off because of their failure to understand the market changing and to innovate to meet that change?
Volkswagen had a major failure in the fuel emission, and that affected their shares quite badly, actually.
Okay, and any other examples anybody can think of companies that maybe dropped off because of their lack of innovating?
Blockbuster.
Blockbuster?
Yeah.
Blockbuster.
Blackberry,
Yeah.
but Blackberry's coming back. But yes, Blockbuster for sure is one, right? They said, no, we're in the video business, instead of realizing that they were in the entertainment business and innovating with what people's needs were and what their wants were. I'm just going to quickly show you another quick video before we move on. That explains this and how important it is and why this is something you want on your resume that you've actually exercised as students, because it is very important to companies. In fact, the students that won challenge a couple of years ago got their positions because winning the challenge was one of the key things that companies were looking for, that they exercised innovation.
I'm Professor Rob Walcott of the Kellogg School of Management at Northwestern University, and I look at how larger organizations, established companies in particular, try and figure out how to innovate on an ongoing basis. I like to think about metaphorically the fortress and the ship. The fortress is your ongoing business, competitive, successful. The ship, these are the people out surfing the high seas looking for gold, but they didn't know exactly where they were going to find it. Companies need to have both. They need to have people in the fortress, the core businesses, to focus on being exceptional at what they do right now, but they also need to have people who are out seeking the future. One is not better than the other. The fact that it's easier and often cheaper to start brand new businesses today than it's ever been before is both a threat and an opportunity. For an aspiring entrepreneur, there are a lot more options today. Whether it's crowdfunding, Indiegogo, Kickstarter, whether it's digital businesses where I can get online and get moving faster and cheaper than ever before. The paradox is that becoming the best at what you do, which is great, that's our job, sets us up for failure in the long run. Most people are aware of Kodak. It was an icon of global commerce. It dominated the market. Years ago, they had the world's best digital imaging technology R&D. Somebody said in the company, you know what, wait a minute, that's going to destroy our core business, which is analog film, where we're making an extraordinary amount of money. We would be idiots to do that, so let's just bury this technology in the lab. Well, sort of makes sense in the near term, but if you think about it, there are going to be, I don't know, other people in the world thinking about digital imaging, and eventually it's going to get better and better and cheaper, and that's exactly what happened. Fuji saw it coming, and Fuji acted. Fuji made investments in new directions, and today they're a thriving, profitable enterprise, much bigger than they were before. And Kodak is history. Innovation is really not just about coming up with new products or cute concepts. It's really about business design, thinking about all the aspects of the business. And changing some of those aspects might be very difficult for an established core business, but it's something that a separate group can experiment with and get it right before you start to transition it out into the world. Innovation creates great companies. Every company really needs to have people who are scanning the world so they can take threats and turn them into opportunities.
Sorry, guys, I understand for some of you that was a little choppy. So I can share the link for the video after by email for anybody who wants to catch it. I do apologize about that. And there, see, there's my dogs. All right. So I was going to, whoop, no. Share my slides now. There we go. So this was the first video. We talked about the steps of design thinking. Really, you start with empathize, define the problem, ideate, and you're circling back all the time, checking in with the end user to see, is this a better fit? Does this work for you? What's the issue and whatnot? So empathize, step one. Basically, it's immersing yourself in the context of the problem where you are attempting to solve. It's really who might find this useful. What experts might shed light on the situation. So it's doing a lot of when you see the when you see some of the videos from last year and the year before, and I'll show you those, you'll see why it's really important to empathize and understand the end user. Next step is sort of just defining what's the situation, what's the problem, what are the challenges, what are the pain points. So what are the things irritating people or causing the end customer a little bit of friction? So really to figure that out. And this is one of the reasons why our innovation challenge has at least a team of 2, because sometimes it's hard to do these things with one person. Sometimes it's really important to bounce it off other people and to ideate together and share ideas and concepts. Next step is that ideate. So now you understand the problem, you understand the end user, you defined it. Now coming up with solutions and possibilities and letting the sky be the limit, just throwing all kinds of ideas out there and not vetting them yet, just sort of uncovering what are the things we could do. Prototyping, coming up with a prototype. Now, if we're talking, I'll show you the videos, you'll see, it doesn't mean you have to create a whole fancy product that's going to cost lots of money or anything like that. No, you'll see it's quite manageable and you can do this. It's very doable. It's just a matter of putting a little bit of time aside for the challenge. And then testing it. So that's testing going back to the end user and saying, how does this work? How was this solution? Does it solve the problem? Is it a good fit? And then circling back if you have to go through and iterate again. So what you all want to be doing is you want to be joining the Innovation Challenge Moodle course. And that's the URL right here. And the reason you want to be joining that is because that is where we've got all the rules and everything listed. So I'm going to show you that. And here we are. So this is what it looks like. In here, it gives you your key dates. These are very important dates. So you must register your team by noon on March 9th. Okay? If you miss that deadline, then you're no longer part of the challenge. Okay? By March 10th at noon, everybody at the exact same time will get emailed the challenge and they will know what they need to innovate. So nobody's got an advantage. Everybody's getting it at the exact same time. Your solution, your 3-minute video in MP4 format, so just off your phones is perfectly okay, must be submitted by 11:59 p.m. on March 19th. Okay, so that's listed here. And in the meantime, I'm going to be sending you all those who join the challenge. I'm going to be sending a link to register for the Innovation Challenge reception. Now we'll be hosting that virtually. We're going to use a nice fancy platform, so not WebEx. We've got some amazing judges, including the Senior Vice President of Oilers Entertainment Group joining us as a judge. Ashif Maji himself is joining us as a judge. And our title sponsor, Craig Harder, the CEO of Raptor Mining, is joining us as a judge. We also have 5 other judges. Okay, so the more judges, the better. And then we also have Kevin Lowe joining us to attend the reception. So at the reception, which is at 4 o'clock on March 25th, what will happen is we'll start off by recognizing last year's winners, once again, showing their videos. And then we'll preview the top videos from this year's submissions, which will have been selected by the judges. In no specific order, they'll be previewed. We'll get to all see them. And then the winners will be announced. Craig Harder from Raptor Mining will also speak on how innovation has really been ingrained into their company and how it has helped them thrive in a very competitive market. So if we scroll down this course, you'll see I have a link to the Innovation Challenge rules. There's a link to the scoring sheet that the judges use to score. So you know exactly what you're being scored on ahead of time, just like with any assignment, right? There is a team member search, so you can put your name in there if you're searching for team members, or I encourage you to do it right now in the chat and start putting in the chat if you're looking for team members, because we can connect people right, today and help make things easier for you, okay? There's also a whole bunch of videos here. And those videos are videos of past winners. So you really want to take a look at some of those. Now, I was going to show them to you here, but clearly there's a bit of a lag. So there's, if I show them to you here, then it's going to be a waste of time. So I think that you want to go in and see them. What you'll see is the ones from 2019 was a product. So they had to innovate a product into something of more value socially, economically, or environmentally. And in 2019, the challenge was to innovate the single-use shopping bag. So the bag you get from Safeway. And you'll see what they innovated it into in 2019 was a great solution. We also have the 2nd and 3rd place videos posted to our YouTube channel, so you can see what they did as well. In 2020, we took a shift and we moved to innovating a service instead of innovating a product. So we So you don't know what's going to come at you this year. It could be a product or it could be a service. And in 2020, we innovated the home buying process. So for that, it was very important to people to talk to people who bought homes and understand how did that work, what was glitchy, what could be better. And one of the things that I found really interesting that the judges said is that sometimes students tried to solve all the problems, and as a result, you don't come up with as great of a solution. Sometimes it's best to just focus on one big problem and solve that. And then, you know, if you were really launching a company in that area, then you'd scale beyond that, right? So don't think that you have to solve every problem. You can just solve one at a time, right? So I will highly encourage you guys to go to this URL, and I'm going to put the URL in the chat so you guys can just go there. And self-enroll. Now, I want to say that you're not on your own. So you've got team members, but you also have our entrepreneurs in residence. Okay, so they can't solve the problem for you, but they can give you some feedback. So if you decide that you've ideated a bit and you want some feedback, you can book an appointment through myself or through Dale to meet with our entrepreneurs in residence. And Dale's, he's in the orange wall behind him. So they are available to meet with you, but they cannot solve it for you, and they can give you some feedback or some things to go back and try. But it's great support. Now, I will say that last year, only one student group met with our entrepreneurs in residence, and you can guess that they did well. So just saying that there's opportunities there. So that's basically what I wanted to tell you guys about the Innovation Challenge, where the rules are. I highly, highly encourage you to watch the videos from last year, first, second, and third place videos, as well as one where we did a product, which was 2019, just to get a sense for what the judges might, have seen and what these students came up with. And to ask questions if you have questions at all. There's $3,000 up for grabs and prizes from the Oilers. Can't say what those are, sorry, big surprise. And there's opportunity to be showcased by some major Edmonton business leaders. So this is a huge opportunity, because when they see you and you get to network with them online beforehand, so it's not WebEx, you get to network them beforehand, you can add them to your LinkedIn connections as well, right? So this is a super opportunity to really set yourself apart. Is there any questions at all?
Yes.
Fire away.
Hi everyone. I'm Idris. This is my first time attending this meeting, and I was wondering, what are the challenges and itself? Like, who gives you the challenge itself?
Okay. So the challenge will come from me.
Okay.
It's been selected by our judges. So ahead of time, I contact all the judges for ideas for the challenge for this year. And they each sent me ideas. And actually, it was Ashif Maji who picked this year's subject of the challenge. So I will email it out to everybody who actually registers a team. So registration deadline is March 9th at noon, and at noon on March 10th, you will get an email with the subject of this year's challenge. And that doesn't mean you can't ask questions, because the year we did the single-use plastic bag, I had students coming in to me say, can I use a trash bag? I need a bigger bag. And I was like, no, it's a single-use shopping bag, right? So you can ask questions, absolutely. If I can't answer, I'll tell you, I can't answer you that.
I have a question.
Sure.
Considering with keeping COVID in mind, what would be your best recommendation for teams to actually be able to
Work
do a
together?
video recording?
Yeah, so we had the same, so this is nothing new, so don't think that, so we did the same for our pitch competition at Christmas, and one of our teams were people that were not in each other's cohort or in their bubble, and they were able to put together using Teams. But you'll see when you look at the winning videos that you actually don't always need to have people in your videos. Okay? So
I found that very interesting, right? The one that did win, it was just like an animation, actually. And it was really well done. So, I mean, I do have some like programs that could edit that all together. So maybe we could do something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can work on it, sharing files and work on it together without actually being in the same place. And we don't want you in the same place unless you already are in the same place. But yeah, we don't want to put you at risk at all.
So, excuse me, I got another question here.
Mhm.
How do you get a hold of any member of your team or
So are you meaning how do I form a team? Like I need somebody to work with?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so right now we've got people in the chat saying if they want to work together and stuff like that. So if you,
Yeah, me, Karen, and Idris actually just
Yeah.
hello.
so yeah, so if you want to work with somebody who's putting in the chat to you right now, that's great. There's also, as I showed you on the Moodle course, and I can show you again. Just give me a second here. Share web browser. So when we go back to that Moodle course, there is this part, right? Team member search, where you can actually enter that you're looking for team members and people can put their names in here.
Yeah,
But if you like Rachel just put up that she is looking for a partner right now in the chat. So if you guys want to be pushed off into a breakout room, or if you want to exchange emails in the chat, or what do you let me know what you want and we can set it up for you.
Yeah, I'd like to stay in touch with them, but I'm not sure how.
Okay. So Rachel and who else? Karen, is that right?
Yeah.
And me.
That's it.
So is there four of you? Or is it Jane? No, it's Jane, Idris,
And
who else?
Karen.
And Karen. Do you
Mhm.
mind if I share your emails with each other?
Oh,
No, please go ahead.
Then I will do that.
Yeah,
and
go right
I
ahead.
mean, oh, sorry.
I was just going to add, I find I'm in 5 courses right now, and 3 of them I all have to do group work in, and I find Teams is probably the most effective that I have used out of everything.
Yeah.
Zoom,
Yeah.
Zoom gives you 45 free minutes. WebEx gives you 50 free minutes. You don't have to pay for it either.
And Rachel, did you say you need a partner as well?
Oh, sorry. I was trying to get out of the chat. Yeah, I'm without one at the moment. I did put my email in the chat. If anybody wants to get a hold of me, feel free.
I will just like take all the members. So how big of a group?
So the team cannot be bigger than 5.
Okay.
All right.
I
So
mean, Rachel,
when you guys can arrange to meet virtually, and you could decide that maybe 2 of you are going to work together and the other 3 are going to work together, or whatever, right? Or you want to do a team of 5, you can do a team of 5. Just remember that $3,000 divided by 5 is a lot less than 3,000 divided by 2.
Yeah. Where to go for the motivation?
Just say it.
Is it just the winning team that makes money, or?
No, the top 3.
Okay.
The top 3 make money. Yeah, top 3 teams, and the prize is divided equally amongst the team.
Can I just ask, I'm not sure how I got this invitation. I think I was just scrolling on one of the forums, like event. I'm not a student at this institution. I was wondering if I can still join in as part of
Oh,
the
I'm
challenge.
sorry, Neural. No, you can't.
Oh, darn.
I'm so sad.
Yeah, me too. What a shame. That's all good. Thanks, though.
Yeah,
The
it's simply because
information.
it's paid through our awards office.
Uh-huh. Good,
Sorry,
not a
Evie.
worry.
Maybe you
I
should
was
come
still
to
pretty.
meet.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's still pretty interesting hearing the information at the start of the session, so that was really good. But yeah, happy to sort of just be in contact and network with the rest of the people on this call
Hey,
as
and
well.
you're welcome to come to any of our events.
Oh, brilliant. I'll definitely take that up. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions anybody has?
The subjects on the challenges. Oh,
Mhm.
you said it's you who's giving it. Is it the same subject for everyone or different subject for?
No, everybody
each-
gets the same subject. That way it's fair for the judges. We did think about letting people think of their own topic, but number one, we thought that that's going to add an extra component for you when you've got a full course load or courses you're working through. And number two, it would make it more challenging for the judges to equally be fair across the board and judge equally. So we've decided to maintain what we've done in the past, which is everybody gets the exact same problem.
All right.
or
And
challenge.
is this a full course class or it's just a project?
No, it's like doing an extra project.
Okay,
But
cool.
guess what? You get to put it on your LinkedIn profile and
Yes.
resume. So it's an extra thing because oftentimes companies are looking for people that can think innovatively.
Definitely.
And like I said, if you look at the one from 2019, the Rebrella is what they called it. Marcello actually got hired by PCL because of how he placed in the Innovation Challenge. So, and last year they were Marcello and Chris and Basia. They were the team. They were our MCs for our Innovation Challenge, having been previous winners. And this year we're going to have previous winners as our MCs as well. So they're going to get profiled in front of some major players as well this year. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, please do not be afraid to email me. I'd rather get a lot of emails and questions than have somebody after go, oh, I didn't know. I hate when somebody's video gets disqualified because they went too long and that broke one of the rules. You can't go over 3 minutes. You can go under, but you can't go over. Or it's in the wrong format. So you decided to go all fancy dancy and make it this huge file, MP4, and it tells you also in the rules how large the file can be. Okay. So yeah, don't be afraid to ask, and don't be afraid to ask for a meeting with one of our entrepreneurs in residence to after you've ideated, after the 10th, when you get the challenge and you have a chance to brainstorm and stuff. If you want a meeting, book a meeting.
Cecile,
Okay. Yes.
there's a couple of questions in the chat.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, is it mandatory that it should be a team or can a single person do this challenge? No doubt thinking of the prize money.
Yes. You need to have at least two. And that's just been, we've always done it that way because it's easier to ideate with more than one brain. And it's easier to check each other's assumptions, etc. So always at least two, no more than 5.
Another question, is Kevin Lowe's appearance at the event a clue about the subject of the challenge?
Is that Dale?
Oh yeah, that is
that
me.
question. It could be. I can't say, but it could be. Okay. Yeah, 2 heads are better than 1. Okay. So if there's no further questions, well, we're going to end very early. which is awesome for you guys. And again, do not hesitate. You've all got my email address now. Do not hesitate to contact me with questions at all. And if
I
you
don't-
know somebody, sorry, go ahead, Idris.
Sorry to interrupt, Cecile. What's your email address again? Sorry.
It's the one that you got the link for this in from, but it's cecilew@nate.ca. I'll put it in the chat.
Oh yeah. Okay. I got that one. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, CLW.
There you go. It's in the chat. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Cecile.
No problem whatsoever. I hope that I see all of you entering teams by March 9th at noon. And if you have a friend or somebody that missed this, that wants the taping, please just have them reach out to me and I'll send them the link for the taping of the information session. Okay? Have a
Beautiful.
great evening, everybody.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for joining us.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
See ya.
Thanks, Cecile.